Okay, this is TJ again with Brass and Lead. Just wanted to go over real quick something that I found right out of the gate. Opening the JP extractor claw. Okay, on the bottom we have the JP extractor claw, and up here we have the Faxon extractor claw. Now, to me, we'll put this right back in here, the factory Faxon extractor claw. And this is what it looks like. And this is how easy it is to, excuse me, drop the pin in there, and that's what it looks like. Alright. So we'll knock that out real quick. Take that out. Put that on there, and I want to show you what I found here just a second. Look at that right there. Alright, you see that? Look at that. Now I want to tell y'all, you may not believe me, but even with the inner spring in there, it still would sit flush. Alright. So this is how it looked with any spring combination that I could put in there. And this is basically, this is what it looked like from the factory. Alright, so that's an issue. Okay. Now the JP has a rubber grommet much like this one. Let's see if I can get that in frame. And then you'll notice, instead of there being a spring inside the inner spring, it's got like it almost looks like a proprietary spring in there. And then it's got a piece of rubber on the inside of the spring. It's got a rubber core in there. Now, moving on from that, let's take a look at the actual cutout for the extractor claw. Now remember, the one on the right with this right here with this large bump on there, okay, that's going to be our JP. The darker one is going to be our Faxon. You might be able to see it, and I might be able to make you understand what I'm seeing here. But this right here, that chamfer, is a lot more gradual. I'm not sure how many degrees that is, but this on the Faxon is really steep, and it's not near as wide this way. This has a lot more slope to it, and it's a lot more it's a lot lower of a degree from 90, whereas this one is a really steep angle coming in. And so I think this one, that's going to be a lot of difference in how this thing performs. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about right there. Okay. And if you look, well, we'll do this. Alright, so let's see if I can, let me see. That would be really hard to get a measurement on that. But what I'm looking at is I can see this. I can see this up, see that, the line, the back of the recess right there in the extractor claw. And then this one, you can't see near as much of it. So it looks like the dish is deeper on the JP. Now, the recess thickness for the rim is the same. But I think what's happening is this is too steep and it's only catching halfway for whatever reason upon firing. Whereas this one, it slides right on. It's gonna just slide right up that slope and grab it and flick it out. But I mean, really, you got, right, let's see, 0.3, I'm trying to look at it on the camera, 318 right there. And then this one has a lot more play in it, and that's 0.313. Point. Now, yeah, 315. Sometimes these calipers kind of move around, but even then, when you drop the JP in there, you could tell, I can just feel that it's a tighter fit from here to here, and it doesn't feel like there's much slop. This one just feels loose right there. So I don't know, maybe the depth is wrong. Maybe the cut, the hole for this is too deep. I'm not really sure what's going on with this thing. And as you can see, whenever I have a malfunction, sometimes it'll extract, but it won't eject because it's having problems. It'll partially pull the case out of the chamber, and then it'll strike the still present spent case. All in all, they look the same. I mean, it's DPMS pattern, so I mean, you can't really deviate from that very much. But definitely, I see the shape. This is probably the most telling area, is the end of it. So I'm really excited to see how this thing plays out, and it's just crazy how much that sticks out, and that just flops in there flush. And I can, and to prove it to you that it's not, if you just hang in there for a second, I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's the, see, I mean, I've got all sorts of different springs. Let's see. I just got a spare parts kit that I carried at the range with me just in case. Okay, here we go. Now, I even bought these tactical springs, extra power, moly coated, cryogenic processed, all that crazy stuff. And I tried them just like that out of the bag, and that did not help at all. The only thing that helped was whenever I take this inner spring, it's so small, it's very tiny, and I drop that bad boy in there, and he's kind of a pain in the ass to get in there. Everything feels like it's magnetically charged, so we'll take, and sometimes it just goes in, sometimes it doesn't. But that spring will pull the grommet off and try and shove that down in there. That thing is supposed to go in there like that. Right? And then you take this and you slide that back over it. And look how flush that sits, and I barely have any pressure on that with my thumb. Matter of fact, I'll pull it off. That's the only difference, and that's not a lot. Check this out though. I can't hardly push that in. I gotta really mash on it, and even then it's going to be a lot more difficult to drop that pin in, where this one I can just take that, drop that in there, and snap it in. I'm not going to be able to do that with the JP. I'm going to have to work for it. So I just wanted to show y'all that and show y'all the differences, that although these things look nearly identical, there are some changes and some differences in these that I think are really going to make a difference. And I really hope that I'm right with this, that you know, that this is going to make my ejection problems or my extraction problems go away. And I think once you get to the level of these parts and this level of narrowing things down, I think that, you know, the smallest detail makes a huge difference. So anyway, I hope you guys found this hopefully a little bit informative. Maybe you're having problems similar to this. And yes, my gas rings are all separated. But let me know if y'all have any questions about this. I'd be glad to help anybody out, and you know, because I know this has been tough for me, but you know, I kind of like this sort of things. Other people aren't near as excited about. Oh, that's not a spring, that's a thread. Not other people are excited as I am about trying to solve issues and having problems. So have a good day. Do some safe shooting. Exercise your Second Amendment. And support your local gun club.